Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
Great, great. So I'm glad that we're here. Hello, Dream Team. Dream Team is here, checking in, checking in.
We out here.
We outside.
We
Well, we're
good.
inside, but we off work, so we good. We good. We off work.
Yes, sir. We on work. How about that? Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
Airport.
So how's everybody doing? How's our week been? I know it's only Tuesday, but how's y'all week been?
My week has been good. I did not have to work yesterday. Because we were in Vegas. I came back. You let none of that stress me. If it happened while I wasn't here, I can't do nothing about that, and I won't. So,
Control your controllables.
absolutely.
Exactly.
But it was good. Yeah, it was a much needed break from this type of work environment. So
Awesome.
I'm good.
Awesome. Awesome. Brooke,
I am wonderful.
I love your beanie.
Listen, get you one. $30. Get you one.
Get you one. Get you one. Good, good. How's your week?
My week is good. I'm pacing myself, leaning into stillness and softness and being gentle with myself. So it's good.
Thank you for sharing that. Awesome. Awesome. Jeremy, check in with us.
My week has been good. Relaxing. I haven't been doing too much. We're on spring break, so getting my stuff together before I start this new venture on Monday. So ready to get it started.
Hey,
Woo.
Awesome. New ventures transition, summertime, springtime, summertime is near. All right, awesome, awesome. My week is before we'll get on. My week has been great, been fruitful, so I'm definitely grateful about that.
Good.
But we have a lot to dive into. But before we do it, we are missing one of our members tonight.
Mhm.
It's love and light to Sheila and her family during
yes.
this time. We are good. We miss you, Shia. But if you can't see Shia tonight, 9 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100, she's gonna be at Remedy Houston coming
Hey,
That's right.
yes.
month, along with the other therapists on this live. You're gonna learn more about that as the evening progresses. So Shane, I'll let you take it.
All right, y'all. So we are, Remedy Retreats. This is the Dream Team -1, and we want to welcome you to our channel. Okay, no, seriously though, we are we are kicking off Remedy Houston. H Town is where we wanted to. I don't want to say start, but where we wanted to,
What we doing?
this.
Something like that.
We wanted to restart, in another Texas city, and we chose to do Remedy Houston. That's where I don't know where that is. I mean, I don't know what happens in Houston, but we thought it would be a great city, a great place.
Don't like that. Don't do that.
Nah,
Don't pick violence.
we know y'all love Houston. I love Houston myself. I don't tell Deontay I said that it is, the second favorite place in Texas. Other than that, we really want to get you guys started and really kick off what Remedy Houston is about. And we will go ahead and get started into everything that we are presenting to you guys and everything that we have in store for you guys for Remedy Houston. With that being said, we are going to get started. And so first, we talk about our dream team at a glance. If you've been following Remedy, you pretty much know the 5 familiar faces. If you do not, we have Deontay McClendon, we have Brooke Gordon, we have myself, Shaniqua Sledge, we have Jeremy Turner, and then we have Tashia Walker, or Shia, aka Shia. She prefers Shia. 4 licensed professional clinicians, but 5 professional, well-educated, highly motivated Black professionals. And we want to, let you guys know what we have in store, and hopefully you guys are able to, attend Remedy Houston with us or donate towards Remedy Houston, because that is the goal. And now we'll really get started with Remedy at a glance.
Can I say something? I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but I would like to add with the dream team and these 5 professionals, we are not just bringing our professionalism and our education and expertise. We're bringing our lived experience, which is equally as valuable.
Absolutely, all of the above, with 5 familiar faces. Familiar in a sense that we are Black. So basically, that's something that we know we bring to the table, and something that we hope you guys, or something that we hope appeals to you guys, to know that there are some people who are like-minded and who look the same as you. And so, we already discussed meeting the dream team, but I'll give you guys the appropriate titles because my colleagues have worked so hard for these titles. Correct. And so we have Brooke Gordon, LPC, LCDC, and so professional counselor and licensed chemical dependency counselor intern. That one is so hard. Then we have Deontay McClendon, Director of Strategic Direction and Fundraising. Myself, Shaniqua Sledge, also LPC, LCDC intern, Director of Operations. Jeremy, Director of Implementation Services, so he makes sure things get done the way we say it's supposed to get done. And then Director of Child and Adolescent and Family Services, which is my lovely, beautiful colleague, Tashia Walker.
Dang, she got all of that.
She did, because she's not here, and I wish she was here, Okay, so this is essentially Remedy at a glance. This covers the first half of the year of 2021, I believe. We were confined to a very limited space, I'll say, in the year 2020 and 2021. So we felt that we had to do something different in order to reach the targeted audience, but also in order to spread awareness for the people who were not 100% familiar with what mental health is, what Remedy does, but also some of the things that we target or highlight, some of the things that are highlighted throughout the year. And so, first we started with January, which are our SMART AF goals. At the beginning of the year, we set goals. We have our New Year's resolutions, and we wanted to set goals, but make them SMART AF. And so also appealing to our community and target audience. And our AF throughout this entire segment and throughout our year 2021 stand for aligned and focused. So, we are about that double entendre life. So if you thought, SMART AF, that too. Then we have a Black AF, February, highlighting the beauty of Blackness, addressing ADHD, and Remedy Black Love. Remedy Black Love was one of our biggest segments, and it was really beautiful to see. I will say that we celebrated Black love and Black couples, not only heterosexual couples, but homosexual couples, bisexual, whatever you identify as. We celebrated you and your Black love, and we also broadened that to friendships, Black relationships. And so that was what we highlighted, and also just staying Black AF through February. The next one we had was one of my personal favorites, was March, Booked AF. And so the goal for Remedy Retreats is to stay booked and busy, but also is to make sure that we're highlighting Black authors. And also, making reading something that we do as a community, and something that something that excites us, and making sure that, as a community, we are reading, we are, broadening our horizon, but also that we're highlighting Black authors. And the book we chose was Black Pain. And so we really delved into that Booked AF. Then we had April, Clean AF. I don't know, is it clean on the outside? Clean? I don't want to mess it up.
Clean on the outside.
Okay, so basically,
paint job.
April is when you do all of your spring cleaning, out with the old and in with the new. And so really decluttering and organizing, whether physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially, recognizing what needs to go and what needs to stay, and what are some ways that I can really clean up what I messed up. Okay, I'm trying, y'all. Okay, so the next one is May. We had Beyond Mommy, and so ultimately that one is kind of self-explanatory. We highlighted the realities of postpartum, and focused on how mothers find fulfillment and rest outside of motherhood. And so outside of being a mom, what am I? And so not solely identifying as a mom, but what else? Identities and characteristics do I have, but also still highlighting, the struggles that we have, that people have as moms. I'm not a mom. So, and we said postpartum because basically postpartum can go, a plethora of ways. It's not just that depression. Sometimes you can have postpartum psychosis. And so those are things that we wanted to highlight in May. And then finally for this slide, we had June, which is Help Men Heal. And Black men, they discussed toxic masculinity and tips for healing and being our brother's keeper. And basically we also led Remedy Pride, discussing and providing safe spaces for the LGBT community. And that one got real good because we also talked about, pride in the church. Whew. And so if you have not checked out at least those 6, we hope this general overview incline and urge you guys to really go look and sort out and seek through our page and really see if there's anything that you find beneficial. And I can guarantee you there is something that really does what word am I looking for? That does resonate with you.
Resonate.
You know? And so that was the first half of our year, the first 2 quarters, and as you can see, we were booked and busy. Yeah, go ahead.
In July, we took a dive into baggage claimed, which really had everything to do with self-awareness and owning our stuff, and separating what's mine from what's other people. You know, how do we begin to unpack this stuff so that we can heal? And then in August, we at Remedy tried to be very authentic in practicing what we preach. So we talk about Remedy rest days and taking off work and taking the time that you need to refuel yourself. So we took the month of August off.
The whole month,
our summer break. And so that was really beautiful to model that for you all, and we will continue to do that. In September, we dived into saving ourselves, and we talked about suicide in the Black community. Black people do die by suicide. We are not exempt. And so we really work to destigmatize the myths around suicide in our community and what we can do to help support one another. Then in October, we talked about fight or flight, diving into those trigger responses and how our trauma is showing up in everyday life and how we can cope more healthily with that. And then in November, Remedy celebrated 2 whole years since our first retreat. And so we recapped, we remembered our journey, and that was incredible. And we ended the year always around November and December. We talk about remedy the holidays. We dive into grief around the holidays, seasonal depression, and how that shows up for us. But this year we wanted to do a little bit of a different take, and we launched Remember Me. And we allowed people to submit videos or pictures of their loved ones and share what they remember most about them. We believe that it's important to honor those who we love who have transitioned. And so that was really beautiful. Thank you all for sharing in that.
And so as you guys can see, Remedy has been, again, booked and busy. You ensure that we are providing prevalent things, things that we know are being experienced in the community, and making sure we touch on all of those things. We can't always touch on every single thing every single time, but we wanted to highlight the most prevalent issues and struggles and, stigmas in the Black community and make them less stigmatizing and hopefully make you guys more inclined to seek out additional resources, even if not therapy, make you guys curious, about what this looks like and how this possibly impacts myself or someone that I'm very close to.
So the title of Remedy 19 is Tragedies, Traumas, Triggers, and Triumphs. Remedy 19 is about centering the lives, the stories, and the experiences of Black people. We have gone through the most historically, yet within our families, within our communities, we're not having the hard conversations around how life and its experiences, belief systems, generational patterns are influencing and impacting how we move and how we show up in the world and in our personal lives. So we wanted to specifically carve out protected, safe space for Black people to sit and to do that.
One thing that I got out of this experience today is the importance of community, coming together as one. As Black people, we come together for so many things, but we don't come together for mental health and mental illnesses, and it's so important because we're the community that needs it the most.
So far, this experience has been life-changing, beginning of something new. Kind of like struggle with mental health for a little bit, but I feel like this is something I can get into and kind of help me along my journey.
Remedy 19 ultimately is about mental health in the Black community. We often, in the Black community say what happens in the home stays in the home, and that can be very detrimental in it. And we've internalized a lot of the things that we've experienced, and so we've kept them in home, and now we want everyone to start sharing that trauma, being vulnerable and finding strength in vulnerability. A lot of people view that as weakness, but we want to kind of change the stigma as far as how do you view vulnerability. That is a very strong aspect of you, to be able to be vulnerable in a shared space with other people.
This has been a wonderful experience thus far. Even myself being a person who has experience in this field,
I've even gotten a chance, an opportunity to think about the things that I've gone through in my life, and that's been so important to me. It's been wonderful. It's been like, I've just been smiling all day, honestly. It's just been so amazing.
Today has been mind-blowing, life-changing, and a shift for the culture. This event came about basically about a conversation on the need for Black mental health, especially among Black millennials. We deal with so many things on our own, and coincidentally, we're all going through the same things together, whether it's grief, whether it's hurt, whether it's loss, whether it's thoughts of our past that we haven't reconciled with. But this is something for healing for all of us in various forms.
We really wanted to take a dive into the hard things that have impacted us and have shaped us, and create awareness around our triggers and how we're moving in our relationships with people, others, self, God, the community as a result of that.
And there was a lot of us just coming together, being able to discuss some things that may have been taboo, some things that you don't usually get to discuss in such an open setting. Just making sure we had a good, safe environment so that everybody continued to work together and go through their issues, talk about the traumas and things like that, so that they can, come to grips with everything and really work through their problems.
The day was awesome. Very much so something that I wanted to do in my profession, in my life, is just bring mental health into the Black community, because I feel like, it's something that we've struggled with for years and years. And now that I'm capable of helping people through some of the things that they dealt with, I want to do that for my community.
I think that some important work and conversations have begun today, and I think that moving from this place, people will have the tools they need to further that personal process, and also to just know that as a community, we're here for each other.
To see everyone support each other through whatever they may have been talking about, and give encouraging words to that person, even if they were struggling in that moment. So the sense of community and just supporting each one another as we talk about difficult times in our lives.
Realizing that God's hand has truly been on this event from the beginning, and as we set our intentions and our work and our own personal finances behind it, everything has just come together so beautifully. The lives,
Ooh, I never get tired of seeing this
I know. I love
video.
that video. I really do love that video.
I think it's always refreshing to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's always refreshing to see. And to think that all of this was 2019, November 2019, so roughly under 3 years, like 2.5 years.
2.5.
And how so much has happened since then, transitions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put y'all on fresh right now. Brooke and Shade have expressed to me their disdain for watching that video now.
Ooh.
In progress. But I think it's so much the same principle, same thing we'll be looking at on April the 9th for Remedy Houston. The question that I can't get away from is why now? Why is it important now? Given this was back in the world where you could hug and be okay, back in the world pre-mask, pre all of that. So why now? Why is it important, especially as Black therapists, for events like Remedy Houston now?
I was gonna say, y'all go ahead.
Don't rush that. We got a minute. Take your time.
My first answer, of course, is why not now? Why wait? Why not now? But also, you pretty much summed it up with the number of changes and transitions and things that basically shifts in our everyday society, culture, lives, community, professions. Things have changed. You know what I mean? And so that retreat in 2019 is nothing close to what it'll be now, with the level of depression, increasing, anxiety increasing, everything pretty much increasing, being confined to this one space, and then finally being able to be in a community of people talking about some of the similar things that we've experienced throughout this global, pandemic. And this is not something that just we experience, you know what I mean? This is something that everybody was going through, but also, it leaves people feeling isolated at the same time. Although you know everybody's going through this, there's still this sense of isolation, you know, from everybody close to you, and how things have changed, you know, grief, the sense of loss, whether that's loss of life, loss of employment, loss of normalcy, loss of connection, you know, all of the loss that we've, you know, endured. Why not now? You know, because we've been managing, you know, or thinking we've been managing this pandemic, you know, for quite some time, but now it's basically time to, I think it's time for us to move forward. You know, this has become a part of life, if that makes sense, a part of, you know, something that we have to incorporate moving forward. We have literally witnessed history, you know what I mean? And so recognizing that, you know, that history comes with challenges and things that we have to work through. And so, you know, why not now? I think it's a perfect time, and it's becoming a bit more safer, you know, for people to gather, you know, with that amount of people and feel more comfortable. You know what I mean? And so, you know, we've been as safe as we could. We've created virtual things, but now as things return or start to open back up, you know, I want to create that space where people can, you know, process a lot of the changes that they went through, you know, because a lot of people haven't even discussed some of the things, some of the challenges that they faced during this time.
Yeah, thank you for that, because and I was first I was laughing because I know Brooke started taking notes, so I get nervous when Brooke started taking notes. I mean, she got a word for us. She got a word. That's why. So that's the first thing. And secondly, I was thinking about how many of us have still months later, nearly 2 years later, have quarantined emotionally, or that we're mentally on ventilators. So it's those things that we're still dealing with, though people's life has found some sense of normalcy. We're still trying to figure out what is that. We're carrying the residue of a pandemic, the residue of social distancing. What does that look like in any setting? Because a cough can end a friendship these days.
When's the last time you had a hug? Without second guessing, right?
Yeah.
Without wondering.
Now that's one family.
I've been on the hug people I've been around.
Yeah.
Those close people, you know, we used to hug. You go to church, you hug. You know, now things have changed, and you know, hugging it regulates people in a lot of ways, you know. And so without that physical contact, you know, something else has been stolen from us, something that was so normal. And so basically, I don't know what word overlooked, you know, something we take for granted is now something that a lot of people yearn for. And so there's also something why now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the other reason I say why now is because some people have gone in the other direction with the pandemic. Like, they were in a bad spot before the pandemic, and since they've been in the pandemic, they learned to be at home more. They learned to, you know, see themselves more. So they need help navigating this new normal for themselves too. Because as you get, you know, everybody's pushing for health and wellness and self-care. You kind of need a guide for a lot of that. And so a lot of times you need to sit down and talk to a lot of people that, you know, especially licensed professionals that can help guide you through that process.
Yeah. I think for me, why now, it's past time, right? Like, I've seen my people's homes. I've sat in my home. It is not always the best.
What you mean by that?
It be dirty. Like, can't clean. The level at which we are all functioning depressed is really sad. And I think that the reality is we aren't alone. Like, I've sat in my own mess, and I've showed up for my people and realized that they were just as functionally depressed as I was. They were in just as much a mess as I was, physically, literally, metaphorically, all the things, right? I've also heard the silent cries for help. And we turning up, and we getting drunk, and we doing what we doing. And I know I've been spiraling for weeks, probably a couple months now, just in different ways. And I think why now is because we need each other. Like, we all are experiencing so much of the same things, but it's so easy because of quarantine and because of isolation to think that you're in it by yourself. And it goes back to the foundation of remedy, which is healing community. And we need that human connection. You know, we've tried several times to do virtual remedy, but the reality is I need the intimacy and the safety of being in person. I need that in-person connection. And I think that we all do. It's been lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jeremy said, we were struggling pre-pandemic, but so many of us have just plummeted since then. So the reality is it's past time for Remedy Houston, for Remedy America, really, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, and I thank the three of y'all for sharing that. And I feel like we talked about before, and Shane pointed out a little bit this evening, just the fact of community connection. Because we've been so apart, and though it's hard to re-enter this new normal, we need each other. And I think that was something that the news can cover how many people are suffering from a virus, but it's hard to cover people that are suffering from lack of a hug, or lack of community, lack of being able to just go into a school setting and just see students, or being able to go to work, and like some people literally went to work and there was 2 people in the building the entire time. So what does it look like to get back to what we value, which is community? And I'm hoping that as we gather, like we talked about at the Talk Your Shit homecoming, that our spaces are more sacred, that our spaces are more healing, our spaces are more conversational, because it really only takes a second to say, hey, how you doing? And you have places like our retreats where we cultivate these spaces. So I think that's great. And then the second one is we talked about navigating new norms. How do I live now? I saw a post, it was talking about the Black church, and it said, I don't have a problem going to a church that's the same. The problem is that I've changed. And so what do you do when you go to a different work environment where I've been gone for 2 years now. You tell me I need to get here on time. That may mess up my mind a little bit. Like in person. Like how do you navigate gas prices that are gassing?
Yeah. And I think too the fear and the anxiety of living through so many constant changes, like not being able to settle, and so actively living history, right?
Absolutely.
Sorry, guys. How do we navigate that? And the reality is we navigate it in community, which is really not just the foundation of Remedy, it's the roots of our culture.
Yeah.
We've always survived and thrived through community.
And so, with that, my question is, what do you guys feel like is the value? And y'all have touched on some of it, but what do you guys like is the value of Remedy Houston? What do you guys feel like? What's the value of coming to this? If you feel like they get something, what do you feel like they get?
I think we started with it already. We talked about community. That's the biggest thing you're going to get from it, is to have more like-minded individuals, more people that you can have an understanding of what you're going through, so they can be empathetic, and y'all can have those discussions that we don't get to have all the time. So that's the start of what the value is just being able to be around more people that are trying to grow just like you are.
Yeah.
I would also say safety. The last time we held this retreat, a lot of people from start to finish reported that they would have never, opened up something like this in a space like this with so many other people. But there was this sense of privacy, in a sense of, confidentiality, in a sense of basically camaraderie, where everyone knows that, this is a sacred space, and it felt safe. And the people, not only the facilitators, but, the participants created this sense of safety in that environment where people shared things that they didn't know that they were, coming to open up about, and we're not trying to leave you, feeling raw, but we do want to, my goal as a mental health professional is to put something in your face. So whether this is something that you've been dealing with and now you recognize it, or it's something that you've been pushing to the side and it's coming up now, it just kind of flowed out. That's what our hopes are. And we feel like that's the value of this, sitting with those emotions, recognizing, how am I really doing?
And I think that, also the reality that therapy is not cheap. It should not be a luxury, but we got to make a living as well. And so to be able to attend a mental health retreat with 4 award-winning therapists who specialize in everything from trauma, grief, and loss to family, to men's issues, to domestic violence, both for men and women. I mean, the range is so broad. And to have access to that and to glean practical tools and to be able to process in not just a safe space, but a protected space. We played no games about making sure that the space we were in was protected, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. And so, the value is, jolting you into your own healing journey and providing a healing experience. Even if you don't start therapy until next year, you don't have to hold all of this stuff that you've been holding. You can set some of those weights down and allow the community to help you to carry it.
And not only is our aim to feed you, spiritually and mentally and emotionally, but we will feed you physically. So there will be breakfast and lunch. Hey, I know that that's a factor in whether or not I'm coming or not. So there will be food.
These ain't no refreshments in the fellowship hall either.
We're making sure to take good care of y'all.
Real food.
Or to the food that's being presented.
Absolutely. Definitely want to, within this, provide a high quality experience for our attendees. And I think something else that people gain that's valuable is language.
Yes.
Being able to identify and articulate my pains and finding the language for our wounds sometimes is something that is important. Also learning language to navigate and figure out, okay, what do I do on this healing journey? So we hear people talk about breathing. We've heard boundaries. Even if people are put into their vocabulary mental health days. Sometimes just developing a language. How do I identify my triggers, triumphs, tragedies, triumphs, triggers, and tragedies, triumphs, triggers, and triumphs. Wait.
Tragedy, trauma.
Triggers and triumphs.
It's a song, y'all. Y'all get a little.
This is why I have to say it in order every time because I know what you're doing. It's like elemental P for me.
Yes, and not only that, but also giving you guys hands-on tools. So not only will we be, we sit with you guys, we engage with you guys, but also we provide you with real life hands-on tools to make these things real, to make them relatable, to make them basically something that you can identify with and that you can get practical tips and tools from. So it's not just us talking to you the whole time. We really do a little, of the talking and more of the work, that we see that we're hoping you guys are wanting to do as well.
Yeah. And then I would add to that, dang, it was real good, y'all. It's not just about hashing through the most horrible things that we've experienced in our lives, but we have to face that shit, right? So we deal with that and then we celebrate. Because part of our healing is also learning how to celebrate the things that are going well in our lives. We're real easy at pointing out the bad and identifying the traumas and this stuff. We're getting comfortable with that language, but we still struggle to celebrate. Where am I doing well? What's going well? What small, what things big or small can I celebrate? And the reality is it's all worth celebrating. And so that was one of my favorite parts of the retreat, was hearing people talk their shit and celebrate whatever victories and successes that they're seeing in their lives.
And then, I don't want to say finally, but also we are a business of holistic healing. And so, not only are we working on mental wellness, but physical wellness. And so with that, there will be people who are estheticians and massage therapists. I want to make sure to, label them correctly, but basically they'll be giving facials and massages. And so these are people who are, I don't know if they're
licensed.
They are licensed. I was thinking if they were donating their time to, basically to the healing journey, for people, because mental and physical wellness is equally as important.
For sure, for sure. So it's been emphasis on it tonight. So before the therapists continue the conversation, as you're seeing this, we're preparing for Remedy Houston, scheduled for Saturday, April the 9th, which we're looking forward to. There are a few tickets left. So if you want to be part of the experience, join the community. But you better get the tickets as soon as possible, because they will be sold out. Like I said, we do have a few tickets left, offering a great experience. Shaniqua just alluded to it. If you sign up, you may get a chance to get a nice massage or a nice facial from our Black donors who are donating their services. So we're looking forward to that. You get breakfast and lunch within the ticket. For more information, Remedy that's hyphen, right? Is that hyphen?
It's a hyphen.
remedy-retreats.com/Houston. You can get more information at our website. We'll be so glad to have you there. So let's keep the conversation going. So if you're engaging and enjoying it, comment something you're learning, comment something you're taking away, because we heal through community, but also knowing what's helpful as well. All right, so our last session today, we're going to focus on what our attendees leaving with. So we've talked about what they're going to experience, and we may show at the end, we may be able to show like a recap video from some Remedy 19 attendees. But what are people leaving with? When they leave out, they've had this wonderful 6-hour experience. Are people leaving with their generational curses healed in 6 hours? Please let me know.
So no, you will not leave with yourself being completely healed and whole within, 6 hours. However, I can say, people have gone through months of therapy and still may not be healed and whole. And so, that's relative. However, we want to make sure, that you guys leave with tools. We want to serve as a catalyst. And, for those of you who don't necessarily understand what that means, is we want to spark an interest in your personal healing. You know what I mean? And so whether that's you recognizing some dysregulated emotions, when we talk about this, maybe something that triggers you, we want to identify those. We want to identify some things that you may not view as a trauma. We want to identify some things that have been triumphant for you. You know what I mean? And so really putting you guys in a space where you don't feel alone. And so we already talked about, community. We also want to leave you guys with resources. And so, resources for your community, but also maybe some national resources. A lot of things with telehealth are more prominent nowadays. And so that, these Black therapists, if that's what you're seeking, don't have to be in your direct neighborhood. You know what I mean? You can somebody in any city in the state of Texas. You know what I mean? And so our goal is to send you, or our intention, and what we will do is send you with resources so that you can access your own personal, therapeutic healing journey when and where, or you can suggest it or recommend it or refer it to someone else that you feel like it may be beneficial to. And so our goal is to put those things at your fingertips, because a lot of people say, well, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. Where do I go? Who do I see? How do I do this? And so our goal is to make sure that those obstacles are erased by putting it right in your hands as far as how you can get started.
Yeah. And to add to that, you'll be leaving with the motivation to prioritize your mental health. Mental health is so important, and we can't talk about it enough, especially in our community. So the motivation to prioritize that and to be in a space where you're learning not just coping skills to navigate your traumas, your triggers, and your tragedies, but also tools to just navigate your overall connection to self. How am I caring for myself? How am I showing up for myself? Because the remedy is about being who we've always needed, not waiting for other people to show up, not waiting for other people's apologies, not waiting for anything, but saying, you know what, how do I be what I need for me? And that's where the real work and the healing is, and that's what we hope to spark in you. And lastly, just again, that community aspect and realizing that you are not alone. You're not the only one.
I think we
Oh,
froze.
No, we hear
oh
y'all.
y'all no, we get you.
Okay, well, I think it looks like we're frozen on our end. But, like Brooke said, reassurance that you're not alone. And so even if you come and you don't share whatsoever, you're in a space where other people share, and it gives you a sense that, I never recognized somebody experienced the same thing that I did. And so even if you don't utter a word, the entire time, it's still an experience, where other people are sharing, and through, other people's cathartic sharing and release, it's a model for you to do the same. And you just basically recognize that this is not something that I am solely dealing with by myself. And that's what we want to leave you with. A lot of times people feel like my problems are, of course they're my own, but I'm the only one in the world who's experiencing this. And that's not the case. And so we want to leave you with reassurance that is not the case. Because I guarantee you, at least several people said, well, I had no idea that other people encountered this, or I had no idea that this was a normal thing, and so again, that sense of normalcy to the things that we are struggling with, especially as we all went through a pandemic together.
Yeah, and I know that we touched on at the beginning. We talked about navigating the new normal, and one of the big things that people have to leave with, we're hoping everybody leaves with tools for the upcoming things they have to deal with. Because as we go through life, we just going through evolution. So evolution is change over time, but every time something evolves, it has to adapt. So what we're having to do now is adapt, and you can't adapt without the tools necessary. So I think that one of the biggest things you're going to leave with is the tools necessary to adapt to the new environment that we have to deal with. Because the pandemic messed a lot of stuff up for people, but it's still able to be navigated, and we can do that, and we can help with that.
Yeah, and not just the tools from us, right?
Right.
The tools that you're gonna learn from each other.
Absolutely.
How one another has been navigating not just the pandemic, but these traumas, these tragedies, these triggers. Not just what learning from other people's experiences, the good and the bad.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. So, thank you, therapists, for sharing that. Thank you for walking us through what attendees will receive, can receive, will have the leisure of being around, because healing doesn't happen in isolation. As we say in community, it also happens in the right environment. So, we're hoping to nurture the environment that is not just something that it's not just talking to therapy. No, you can't take the therapist with you, unfortunately. But hopefully you can take something from the experience that you can add into your day, into your week, to create that healing space, to create a decompressing area, to create a place where you can actually process your day before rushing in, before doing all that. Taking some time for yourself. So that's something we also want to model. And thankful for all the Black businesses that are supporting, that have donated so far, and sponsors that have donated. If you're interested in doing that, you can go to our website, remedy-retreats.com, for more information. You can also follow the information scrolling below as you see it. And we also want to say that we may want to come to your city. So let us know. So if you know someone that's interested in mental health in other cities, have them reach out to us, because this is not something limited to Houston, to Texas, maybe not even the States.
Come on, somebody. Come on, Remedy Jamaica. Remedy Puerto Rico.
But for now, if you know anyone interested, and let's be honest, you may not be in a space to attend, but you are possibly in a space of support. So if you know someone that may want to come, feel free to donate a ticket for them, sponsor a ticket, make a donation. We're more than open to that, because we're creating a high level experience that's memorable for us to heal in the community. So Brooke, I'm gonna let you take it from here.
All right. So we have several ways that you can contribute via Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. Those are up on the screen. Also visit our website, remedy-retreats. And you can reach out to any member of the Dream Team if you're wanting to donate. The reality is these type of experiences, they take a lot, and we are curating next level spaces. We believe that Black people deserve luxury, so we're gonna heal in luxury. We're gonna create the type of experiences and spaces that our people deserve, and that takes finances. So whether or not you live in Houston or not, if you support and believe in the mission and vision of Remedy, you can donate, and anything helps. You know, you don't have to donate a full ticket. You can donate whatever you have. All of it is appreciated, and all of it will be used to further our work and mission. Also, if you are a non-Black person, we want your money, especially. You do not have to be Black to support. Our focus is on Black people healing. And so if you want to support that, we will gladly accept your finances as well.
So yeah, again, if you know somebody who you think could benefit from this, and maybe
we all know somebody,
and maybe
everybody,
you're not available that day, but you know absolutely somebody who could benefit from this. You know it's free that weekend. You know you ain't got nothing better to do, and you willing to pay for it, or you feel like that's something they should be looking into. Go ahead and recommend that to that person, because again, if it's not for you, it is for somebody else. And the goal is, even if we're unable to reach you and have you there, the goal is for you to say, oh wow, that looks like something you could do or should do. Yes. And so, you know, whether you sponsor them or you just want to sponsor somebody in general because you believe in the dream, we accept all charitable donations.
Yes, and your giving goes far beyond Remedy Houston. Like Deontay shared earlier, you know, we will be on Remedy tours very soon. We've got a couple of cities lined up, and so we may be coming to a city near you. And all of these contributions will help to create multiple healing experiences through Remedy retreats.
For sure. So thank you again for those who have tuned in, that have been on and off. We want you to share this. If you know somebody, you like they're doing something, I think it's good. Just send them this link. That's what makes it easy. Subscribe to us, follow us for more information. If you ever have any questions, concerns, comments, let us know. We really do heal the community and believe community is our commodity. Any last comments, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I'm excited.
Let everybody know, because it's going to be a good experience. It's going to be a good experience.
Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. Let them all know that we're going to be here. So in the best city, then Fort Worth going to have to catch. Anyway, thank you all for joining us again, therapists, Dream Team. Sheila, we are sending you love. We miss you. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and all other information can be found on our website, remedy-retreats.com. All right. Everyone have a great evening.
Bye.
Bye.